Y'all, are we in Satan's little season? Well, I might have found a clue. Check out this movie clip from 1999, Arnold Schwarzenegger's End of Days, and tell me what you think.
1,000 years has ended. The Dark Angel is loosed from his prison.
Get down on the ground and put your hands behind your head.
You don't know what you've done.
Get down or I'll put you down.
1,000 years has ended. You don't know what you've done.
1,000 years have ended. 1,000 years have ended.
It does seem to be some kind of a massive cover-up of something. The earliest pictures we have of like these big cities are like from like the 1850s, and they're these massive cities, and they look very similar than they do today, actually, except for more grain looking, massive buildings, and there's like hardly any people out on the streets, like nobody. And sometimes in many cases, it looks like muddy streets. And it's like, okay, so where are all the people at? It's very odd to have a giant city like that with no people. And then when you start to see people later in, like, sometimes you have these early videos of like these cities like Paris and London, and all of the people are all dressed really nice, like dressed to the nines, like aristocrat looking people. And then you're like, there's just something so odd. But I do know if the Bible says that the sun and moon stopped in the book of Joshua, then I believe it happened. And of course, if this was a spinning ball, then they would tell the earth to stop spinning, not the sun to stop. Because if the sun stopped and the earth was still spinning, well, then it wouldn't change much about the hours of daylight, right? But this earth does not spin, because the Bible says that the earth is stable. 50 verses says the earth is stable or unmovable. The unrepentant cities that Jesus said on Judgment Day it's going to be worse for Chorazin, Capernaum, and Bethsaida. Those places don't exist anymore. The 7 churches in Revelation all were destroyed. Meltology. You don't know about it? Let's talk about it. Meltology is the idea that certain mountains were actually once melted buildings. And here's a real good example of this. Check this place out in Bolivia. It's called Ciudad de Roma. It kind of looks like a city, doesn't it? Well, that's interesting because that translates in English to City of Rome. That's pretty weird, right? In Bolivia? And what's also weird is that in Bolivia, it has lots of Greco-Roman architecture. I wonder if the two could be related. I think they might be. What do you guys think? Do you think this could have been once an ancient city?